Did you know, according to Game Informer, many of the Koopalings from the Super Mario games are named after famous musicians? Most people can see the pattern in Ludwig, Iggy, and Lemmy's names. What you may not know is Super Mario World's fire-breathing Triceratops is named Reznor, named after Trent Reznor. You Nine Inch Nail fans out there, who is also created the soundtrack for Quake. Did you know that Barack Obama campaigned in 18 games during his 2008 presidential election? Count them, 18. Barack purchased ad space in 18 games that ran in 10 states. The Vote for Change billboards were in Burnout Paradise, Skate, Madden, and a few others that targeted the demographic for ages 18 to 34. And then on to my favorite. Did you know? In the Nintendo 64 game GoldenEye 007, Rare, the game production company, originally intended to include Roger Moore, Timothy Dalton, and Sean Connery as playable characters in multiplayer. That plan was scrapped prior to release, but the character models for these famed actors were still on the cartridge. And in 2005, a group called the Rare Witch Project, yeah, check that movie from back in the day, they cracked the game's code, and guess what they found? Yep, shaken, not stirred. They found him. Hey, man, check it. We're not going to talk any more games. We are going to have a hell of a lot of fun. He is the co-founder and vice president at the startup known as METATOPE. Walker Holmes, welcome to Epic Starts.
Yo, it's absolutely great to be here. You're my spirit animal. I'm trying to be like you when I grow up. And yeah, man, we're gonna have a lot of fun. We're doing some super cool things with augmented reality and really bringing the metaverse into the average consumer's hands.
We're going to get into all that, my friend. Are you strapped into your transporter and standing by to be beamed into the metaverse?
I'm ready to go. When's liftoff?
Well, alrighty then. You heard the man. Walker is here. My name is EP, and Epic starts right now. All right, backstory with Walker. Mr. Walker and I met in an Expoverse. Actually happened at the NFT Expoverse in the beautiful city of Angels, Los Angeles, in the beginning of summer. And, you know, when I go to these trade shows and I walk the halls, the aisles rather, I'm always looking for the brand that's going to pull me in. What's different about it? Is it the color? Is it the makeup of the way that the booth is situated? Is it the people? Is it the swag items? Is it what I'm hearing? Is it what I'm seeing? Sometimes it's a little bit of all that. Well, here I am walking down the aisle, and Metatope has got this booth. Now, granted, it wasn't based on the size, but the contents within. They've got this booth that's like a movie production set. And I'm like, what is this that's going on? So I think the first person I ran into was the gentleman in charge of your brand. I believe his name is Jared. And then the next person I talked to, I believe, is your wife. Her name is Bree. And then I asked both of them, I said, hey, who do I talk to here that is in charge of the magic that's happening here? And they both pointed to Walker. And I said, well, that guy, that young looking guy right over there, he's in charge of all this. They go, yeah, he's one of our co-founders. So co-founder of Metatope, man, let's get into it. Bring me up to speed on what you have created, what you're working on, and what Metatope's all about, Walker.
Most definitely. I appreciate the introduction, and we have an amazing team. You know, this is in no way, not any aspect of this project has been a one-man show. It truly takes an army, and yeah, we'll get into that. So, you know, the Metatope, we were seeing the utility, you know, that was presented in these NFTs, and you know, it was lackluster at best. But the underlying psychology of this profile picture standard. We see these bored apes, we see these crypto punks that are paying hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars, truly like just for the capability to embody that asset, you know, across their socials. And so we said we can do much better, right? And we went in and we wanted to figure out how we could take markerless motion capture and condense it down to be deployable from a mobile device using only the front-facing camera on your phone. You know, and I think a familiar experience to this is TikTok filters or Instagram filters, right? The idea that we want to go in and we want to represent something else is, very, very ingrained in our digital interactions, but very few applications, if any, allow for that full body transformation. And, just to add to that, our artist, Jared Morantz, he did Batman, Iron Man, Thanos. And this to me is the next evolution of
Oh,
fandom.
wait, whoa. Tap the brakes. First of all, throw that name out again and tell me the affiliation.
Yeah. So Jared Morantz, he is our artist. He's our world builder. Moreover, he designed these assets from the ground up. And he is one of, if not the most sought after concept artists in Hollywood. He did Batman, Thanos, Iron Man, Spider-Man, the majority of the iconic superheroes and villains that you see in the DC and Marvel world. He has.
That gives me the chills. I mean, because I said earlier, I was pulled into your booth, and hand to God, it was only 20 feet across, 10 feet deep. So guys, don't think of like these big monster $1 million booths. No, it was just like what you had in it and the visuals that I had and the cameras that you had. And I saw people that were in front of, an iPhone, as you mentioned it. And then I'm seeing up on a screen, big screen, what was being produced. I'm like, wait a second. Cause it almost sounds, and correct me where necessary here, Walker, but it sounds like you've created like a new dimension. Like you mentioned earlier, like the filters that TikTok, Insta have on them, which are super fun, super, cool. But I've seen what you've created, and I know I have an idea of where you're going, and I want to get that out here. That's why I said, hey man, stop, hold it, let's talk about it on the show. So kind of go into it a little bit in terms of give me a use case today that is up and running that everybody listening, watching can understand, and then do us even better. Go into the future 2 or 3 years from now. Maybe you have to go further, up to you, in terms of what you're working on. Use case.
Yeah. So for sure. So the instant utility of the MT Skins assets, which is what you're seeing here behind you, what Jared Morantz designed, is in the METATOPE mobile application, which will be available for anyone to download within 2 weeks from today. The second is actually our launch date. And Android or iOS, you can download the app and you can interact. So the first use case is the ability to come into this application and with no work from the user, literally just by standing in front of your phone, you are going to be fully transformed into this asset designed by one of the most iconic artists in the world, right? And that right there, I mean, my most nostalgic moments as a child were running around as Batman on Halloween.
We all did
Right?
that.
Right.
I still do it, man.
100%. And that's some of the magic there, right? Like the idea that we've now taken that lightning in a bottle and transformed it into your mobile device is really cool. So right there, you fully embody this iconic asset, and rinse and repeat whatever asset you can imagine, whether it's one of these iconic Marvel assets or whether it's a Bored Ape or a CryptoPunk. You're going to be able to come into our app with those projects that we partner with, and you're going to be able to unlock that IP and use it for the holders. So we don't have to go quite 2 or 3 years, but very soon we've already got game integrations. We're finalizing a pretty large scale partnership with 2 metaverses. And we're getting ready to launch our web-based application, which will allow for users to stream as their asset. So now what I'm telling you is that this entire industry, there's a big buzzword, interoperability. All right. But the fact of the matter is that Web3 products suck. Everybody's, right? And that's one of the issues. That's why we can't get to mass adoption, because we don't have a product that we can put in front of an average consumer and them have a good experience with.
Totally understand.
Right? And so what we've done to address that issue of interoperability is, instead of building some isolated space out here in the metaverse, we want to build the road and the infrastructure to connect all of these digital interactions. So the MT Skins assets, these are Unity built files, right? These are built inside of a game engine and allows for us to very easily port into virtually any digital environment. So now you've got this one branded identity that you can take into your video games, your live streams, your web conferencing, your social media. And now you have this one branded identity that you can take into all digital interactions, right? And so for us, as this idea of what your virtual identity is going to be in the metaverse, now you can define that and take it into any interaction that you choose.
You know, it's awesome. Like you already know I'm a big guy about brand, right? I love helping companies. It's why I hang out in the startup space. I love helping companies build the growth that they need. And there's all different aspects of growth. And brand is a big part of it in terms of designing the brand, building the go-to-market strategy, and then the execution. You are literally injecting a whole new division that will need to be understood and accepted, or rather adopted, for all general brands. And, you know, speaking of brands, we're going to do it right now. I was going to hold it off, but man, it's just too cool. And the timing is epic. The most epic news Walker broke to me when he came on and we were talking in the green room. I'm just going to shut up, and I want you to share with the world what happened to you and your team today.
Yeah, and I'm so glad you mentioned our team, right? Because none of it's possible without everybody participating at such a high level, you know, and giving me the opportunity and the leisure to participate in media opportunities. But through, you know, non-paid sponsorship, I was featured in Forbes today, and that was one of my bucket lists. Now we're
Woo!
just shooting for the Forbes 30 under 30.
Oh,
so
yeah.
so we're gonna get that.
Oh, and you got 10 years for that.
Yeah, little less than that. But
I don't know if they accept your ID at the bar yet. I'm sure you have to
yeah.
show that everywhere you go, man. You look so young.
So
Congratulations,
yeah.
man. That is fantastic. Like I said, come again. What did you tell me? Just, oh man, that's so cool. So cool. Way to go, Metatope, and way to go for you. And yeah, your dreams coming together so quickly. And I just love it because you're having so much damn fun. First of all, Metatope. How did you come up with the name Metatope between you and your co-founder is Jordan
Yallen?
Yeah. And how did you and Jordan come up with the name Metatope?
So, you know, I think so. Before we talk about how we came up with the word, I want to describe the meaning of the platform, right? And so we looked across the space and we saw two major issues. So the first one was that we saw people paying hundreds of thousands of dollars for assets, and literally the best representation they could get to embody that asset was to Photoshop it onto their self across their socials. So we've solved that with the Metatope application. The second problem we saw is that the processes in which content creators are constrained to within their participation of the ongoing benefits of the content they produce is archaic, and it's completely weighted to these Web 2 platforms. You go post on Twitter, Facebook, whatever it is, you don't own that content, they do, right? And any ad revenue, any opportunity that's generated from that content, you get no share in that. So we have this massive group of Web3 creators who are mostly content creators and creatives that are just giving their IP away. So within the Metatope app, within about 2 months, we're going to be launching the entire suite of social features that are going to allow users, when they post on our platform, that's going to automatically mint a new NFT. And we're going to be able to incentivize the user on every digital interaction that they create on our platform to make a much more, you know, fair and even distribution model of all that opportunity they're creating for the platform. And then with Metatope, we went back and forth a lot because Like, do we really want to go, with the meta, right? Because it's honestly at this point for most applications, it's pretty cliche. Because if we're all honest, we have no idea, what the metaverse is going to be yet.
Right.
People are throwing these ideas out there. We have some environments to interact with, but I think there's a big split. You've got your party that see AR, and they see that the Google Lens and the Apple glasses will overlay these experiences to enhance our reality. And then you have the Mark Zuckerbergs of the world who are going full VR, Ready Player One in your basement. And we are much more on the AR side. We want to encourage human interaction and
Thank
to
you so much.
of
God
course
bless you, man. Because
and
that's the one part that we have to keep in place here. We don't need to all turn into just like antisocial.
yeah,
Keep
this
going. I'm sorry.
dystopia.
Yeah.
No, and it's a great conversation because the internet, one of the big things it did, you take somebody that is in a population of 10,000 and they collect pins, right? Whatever it is. Well, there may not be anybody else in that 10,000 that like pins. They're just like, this doesn't make any sense. I don't care for it. And, not only do they feel neglected, right? And the internet gave us the ability to reach out and to connect globally because there's tons of people that collect pins, right? And now as we move into Web3, we have to figure out how to harness those capabilities of having that global reach of, interest-bearing groups, but also allowing them to interact in a very humane way, that produces those good interactions. So as we're having this internal debate and we knew what style we stand on, we wanted to go with Meta because we do feel like that this technology is redefining what the metaverse and what augmented reality are going to look like in the near future, right? Not a theoretic application, but something we're putting in users' hands. And then taupe is in reference to a region or a home, an origin,
Got it.
right? And we want to give all of those people that are participating in metaverse somewhere that they can come to and very easily interact with others and share their story.
Got it. I can already picture it. I don't know how long it's going to take. I don't think it's going to be too long in the distance, but there's going to be a METATOPE conference. It's like, and all those people, all those pen collectors, all those people around the world, they're going to be coming together at the different shows that you do. This is awesome. I got to say before I forget, you do have the coolest virtual backdrop. So you win.
This is a real backdrop.
I mean, I'm sorry. I actually knew that.
I built this.
Yeah, that's the real deal that you actually built. In fact, when I first met you through the conference, I said, is that your background or is it fake like mine? I mean, I got to have you maybe get your team actually to build one for me. That's something we can talk about. By the way, I'm going to get the app. I'm going to get the new iPhone, which is just being released. By the time this baby drops, it's being released. And when I do, I need you to get me somebody to help me get set up with the app. And we've got to get like the EP METATOPE going and just
100%.
let me be your walking billboard, my friend.
100%. I mean, I think we could get like a EP start virtual background in the app. Maybe spice it up some.
Do you see yourself as a game changer or an entrepreneur that enjoys changing the game?
I see myself as a participant in the next iteration of what technology is going to be. So I think that I think anybody that participates is a game changer, in their own way because we all bring, so much to the table. But moving in, to the next iteration of what digital interactions are going to be, is a really exciting value proposition for me as a builder and a creator. While we're on the topic, nothing's as glamorous as it seems, and METATOPE is, I mean, it's an absolute, passion project, and I'll be here for a very long time, but it's extremely hard. Anybody that's looking to get into a space to get rich quick, don't do it.
Yeah.
right?
Well, I mean, look, startup life is hard.
Oh
You,
yeah.
what you're doing at this level in this space, look, it's not like,
In this market.
right. Yeah. Like, those out there that know me know that I do a lot of work. I'm associated or affiliated with Silver Sky. They're right over there. I'm in cyber. So cybersecurity. I just got back from a show and there's just a bazillion companies. So if you're going to be the next startup in that space, okay. Yeah. You're creating something new, but you're in Web3, man. And you are changing the game. You're literally laying the infrastructure. It's like you're laying the tracks down for the NFT train and the crypto trains to run on them. And you're going to like bring it all together for people to have that one-stop shop, so to speak, for the experience. I love how you work into the presentation of Metatope, the experience, because it really is like, just for me, Walker, spending the time with you guys in LA, I was like, wow, it literally was the coolest experience of everybody that I came across that day. And it wasn't just the product. It wasn't just what I saw, but it was your people. And so I commend you for who you've put together. And as you continue to build, people are drinking the Metatope juice, man. And that just tells me that you must be very transparent. In fact, why don't you talk about that? Are you transparent with the team in terms of the vision and where we're going? And I think most companies in technology call it a roadmap. How does that work with your company?
Oh yeah. So we're on meetings all day, all the time, and all of our team members. There's well over 30 people, not even on the development side, that are working on this project, and everybody's just so vested and really in love with what we're building together. And transparency is key, right? Because like if you're not transparent with your team, you're never going to get the message that you're looking for. You're never going to get the product that you're looking for. And it's been extremely challenging to find those processes and procedures that are sustainable, to have that oversight, but without micromanaging, right? And it's a very fine balance, but always, we're extremely transparent, and we work together, and that's what's important. And I think that's what you are seeing, in that representation of Metatope at the shows, because we are all on the same page. We're able to work at a very high level of efficiency.
That's awesome. 3 words that best describe your startup life. 3 words best describe it.
Overworked. No. 3 words that describe my startup life.
By the way, is this your first one? Have you done a startup before?
No, this is my first startup.
Okay.
I'm an entrepreneur. I've got several businesses.
Yeah.
But as far as a startup, this is my number
But
one.
you and Jordan go back. You guys have known each other a while before you kicked this one up. Yeah.
Yeah. So actually, I met Jordan when I came on to Metatope. So really kind of a cool story there, and just a little piece on how important relationships are. But we were introduced through a mutual mentor,
Okay.
and Paul Hirsch. He is a phenomenal psychologist. He's a brilliant man.
We'll call him the Godfather. Paul the
Yeah,
Godfather.
yeah. Paul's the Godfather. I call him Captain Paul.
Captain Paul.
So, being introduced though in the light of that relationship that was so strong for both of us, gave us so much confidence and trust, going into the relationship, and we were able to build something extremely special. And now Jordan, he's an absolute brother to me, and yeah, it's been an incredible journey.
Cool. So let's throw 3 words up there. If Jordan was here, you can even talk on his behalf, but like 3 words that you would describe after the heart, the hard work, the blood, the sweat, the tears. How would you describe it so far?
The most rewarding experience, the strongest lessons in life. It literally, like, the experience of building a technology startup and experiencing the growth pains, it's better than any college degree.
Yep.
It's better than I'll learn more on a weekly basis than I probably learned my entire educational career.
You know,
And
let's talk about that because I remember kicking this topic around with you.
Mhm.
Look, there's people watching this, listening to you, and going, "My gosh, this guy's young and he's doing all this so early on, and success he's already had." And, hello, did you not hear it? Back up the tape. Dude just got onto Forbes. So the young people listening in, I'd love you to maybe share your kind of philosophy
Mhm.
on those that you would try to encourage and promote the idea. Go to school, get the 4 years, get the degree, and kind of like your path of what you've done and what's led you to here, and maybe a little bit what you could share for those listening in, the younger
So,
gen.
I think first and foremost, something that you can execute and that I can absolutely guarantee will cause a huge impact in your life. Sit down and you have to define what your goals are, right? And when somebody says that they have a burning desire, right, that has to be implemented in a way where that is the only thing that you're focused on, right? That is your everything and your almighty. Like you have to go at an objective, at a desire, like it's your last day every day. So take some time, and for some people, I do very good with extremely tangible tasks, right? A very a finite goal, and so for me, it's money. Right now, there's a lot of things that are more important than money, right? But you have to set those goals, and I want to be a billionaire by the year 2030, right? And then you work that back. So what am I going to offer to the world that's going to make me a billionaire, right? And then you have to answer that question, and then you build your execution. And if you start there and you focus on that and you repeat it to yourself every day when you wake up and every day when you go to bed, and that is your task, is executing that plan, you'll get there.
Well, I hate
You'll
to
get
disappoint you. I don't think it's going to take that long. Okay.
there.
If I was a betting man, and I am, I'm definitely putting some of my chips, maybe all my chips on that. But you know what? Hell, if you got to half of your goal, I mean, it's only 8 years away, right? 7.5. So I love that. I like the takeaway from that, Walker, is the goal setting, the focus, the passion. Don't just think about it, be about it. So that's awesome. Let's talk about funds. I mean, we're talking about money here. Um, having any fun out there fundraising? Is there fundraising? Give us a little bit of a feel. There's VCs that listen to this, and I know a couple of them. So what's the take there?
Sure, so we're extremely fortunate in that we're fully self-funded. Our parent company, Intermedia group of companies. Under that umbrella, you have Intermedia Advertising, which is the largest direct response agency in the country. And not just the money, but the resources, the analytics, the talent that Intermedia brings to the table is truly what sets us apart in this industry.
Wow.
Right. And so are we going to turn down strategic money that makes sense? Of course not. I'd be an idiot. But we're not actively fundraising. But anybody that thinks that they have, a strong value proposition and can bring something intangible to the table, please reach out to me.
Oh yeah, we're gonna definitely get your contact information out there because I know that there's some strategics out there just based on some of the concepts and people we've referenced so far. All right, let's kick it up a notch. It's time to play Find the Epic in You. So here we go, Mr. Walker Holmes. I'm going to ask you a few questions. We're going to have some fun.
Let's
The
go.
goal of this is to simply make sure you're smiling, which you're always smiling. All right, really easy one. Here's a lob. Where were you born?
I was born in Sylacauga, Alabama.
One more time.
Sylacauga, Alabama.
Sylacauga, Alabama. Wow,
Yeah.
a lot of letters in that one. Okay,
Yeah,
and where?
so yeah, like the Sylacauga, Childersburg area, extremely small. Shout out all my homies. You know, there was a big Creek Indian presence, and that's where those names came from.
What was the mascot at your high school?
It was a tiger, and then we were rebels.
Okay, well, you're a rebel now. All right, rebel with a cause. What? Where do you live now?
So I live in Melbourne Beach, Florida.
So just the next state over. Well, a
Yep.
couple. Yeah, next
Yep.
door. Yeah.
That's what happens when you meet a beautiful woman. You move.
Yeah. Shout out to Bree. Way to go. How long have you actually worked in technology? This is a good question because people are going to look at you and go, wait a second, how old is this guy? So how many years have you actually been in tech?
So it's a good question, and it depends if it, you know, traditional, non-traditional. Non-traditional, I've been building technology for 7 years. As far as the mobile applications, that's, you know, this will be the first mobile app that I've participated in. But our front end technology firm is one of the best in the country. They've built for DuPont, Burger King, some really large brands, and they do a fantastic job.
Awesome. Next question. Nope, we're going to go to this one. Favorite sport on the planet?
Probably baseball.
Baseball. And do you play? Did you play? Do you play?
I did play baseball, and I continued to play baseball up until I came to Florida. I haven't found a league around here. Now my daily activity consists of pickleball.
Pickleball. Oh, okay. So first of all, let me take a stab at what position you played in baseball.
Let's go.
Can I get? Let me get 3 guesses.
Go ahead.
Okay. First guess, pitcher. No.
I'm gonna let you guess.
Okay. Pitcher. My second guess would be, I know you're somewhat tall, so I was gonna throw catcher, but first base, third base.
So I played all 3 of those positions. I also was the catcher.
Oh,
yeah. So
yes.
no, you hit the nail on the head.
Nice.
Pitching was my forte.
Yeah.
Really enjoyed all of those moments, and it's so crazy, you know, how just fast we grow up. You know,
well, you and I are gonna have to go to a Dodger Marlin game. I think they just actually played here recently, so we'll have to figure out how to put that on the planet. All right. Next question. This is fun. Let's go with this one. You're stuck on Crypto Island with one album. What is it?
Crypto Rich by Famous Deal.
I don't, you know what? I've probably heard it, but
you got to check it out. Famous Deal is he's my boy. All he did. Have you ever heard that song, Jordan Bell Ford?
I probably have, man. So I'm not going to make you sing it though.
Yeah, no, he wrote it. Yeah, no, great. You got to check it out. Crypto Rich. Check it out.
I'll definitely check it out.
All about crypto.
I'm telling you, this show is not just entertaining, it is educational, Walker. Look what you're doing. You're educating me.
Let's go.
And that's not easy to do. All right, next question. If you were having a pool party, a bash at the Holmes estate, what's on the grill?
That's a good question. You know, we got to throw some filet mignon on there. All right. We got to get some lobster.
Yeah.
Some nice fresh Gulf shrimp.
Gulf shrimp. I love it.
Oh, some cold oysters out of the Pacific.
Yeah. You know, I love it. I got friends down in Tallahassee, and I love it when people call the shrimp down there. You got to get the shrimp from the guff. It's not, there's no L. Just drop the L. It's in the guff.
The guff.
The guff shrimp. It's like Forrest Gump, right? You got the barbecue, you got the guff that bring the shrimp. Oh man, and they're just like monsters. You can't get them here in Cali, and huge. If you do, they're like $25 a piece.
And have you ever had spotted prawns?
Spotted prawns. I haven't, but maybe I have. It doesn't ring a bell. Have you ever had a spiny lobster?
I have not.
I'll have to tell you that story. That's a whole nother episode on its own. All right, what's in the cooler?
Oh, in the cooler. We gotta have some Whistling Pig 12-year.
There we go. And then my favorite, what inflatable will I see floating around the pool?
Definitely a unicorn.
There we go. My man.
It's gonna be an epic start colored unicorn.
Speaking of epic, if you listen, you already made Forbes, but let's just pretend for a moment, just to please me, that I'm going to put out Epic Magazine. Okay. And I'm going to put you on the cover of the February issue. What's the caption going to say?
Caption. The Alabama boy who did.
There we go. I like it. Making mom and dad proud. Okay.
Not Forrest Gump.
Yeah. That's good. All right. I want you to stare into number one camera there. As I mentioned earlier, there's a lot of entrepreneurs, those that are on deck wanting to take what I like to call the jump. And just like one statement or two, just to inspire them, to give them that little nudge, the Walker Holmes nudge. What would you like to say to those people watching? They're thinking about taking the steps that you've taken that have led you to here.
Yeah, I would say just never be scared to walk up to the biggest player in the room. And the biggest players that you're probably, intimidated by. I know I was for some time, and it happens to everybody, but a lot of times they're the most approachable people. You just have to bring quality and value and invest in relationships, right? With expecting nothing in return. If there's a mentor, if there's somebody that you're like, man, if I could just learn from them, and that's what you've got to do. You got to surround yourself with experts. Go to them and offer them value. Say, hey, I'm going to be at your event. I want to help you. I want to participate, and take those steps, because you are an aggregate of your circle. And if there's somebody that wants if there's somebody that has what you want, put yourself in that situation, practice the things they're doing, read the books they're reading, and you're going to get there.
That's a great one. Yeah, that's a question that I ask guests too on occasion, which is, what are you reading? What's on the shelf? That's great. Those are great words. 3 words if somebody asked me to describe you, and we haven't known each other all that long, but humble, honest, and passionate. Like, man, and hungry. So we'll go 4. Go after it. Don't let off the pedal. Keep going. Has this been an epic experience for you today, Mr. Holmes?
Dude, it's been absolutely incredible. I really hope we've got the opportunity to spend more time together and continue making the most epic content. Dude, y'all hop over, come follow us on our socials.
Yeah. How do they do that? Throw it out there.
Oh yeah. Come over to at the METATOPE across all socials. Check us out at metatope.com. We're going to have some epic things going on around our app launch over the next few weeks. And I'm telling you, this is the next generation of what it means to have NFT utility.
Fantabulous, man. I am going to welcome you back anytime. Obviously, I would love to have you back just for some progress reports, and definitely with other big announcements as they come around the corner. I did not plan. In fact, we were going to record, I think 2 or 3 days ago, had to reschedule. And look at that. The universe, it all came together. Your epic news, and we get to drop it here on Epic Starts. I love it. So, my friend, you are always welcome back here on Epic Starts. I really, really appreciate you coming on today, man.
You're the man, EP.
Hit the lights. Last call before we fall. Don't forget to tip your bartenders and waitresses on the way out there, Mr. Holmes. Guess what? Another epic video podcast is waiting and ready for your viewing and listening pleasure. Hop over to epicstartswithep.com and check out The Vault. Also, if you were looking to hit your daily quota and find acts of kindness, here's 3 ways that you can do it. Number 1, go subscribe on the platform that brought you here today. Subscribe, please. Number 2, give us a thumbs up. Let us know that you liked the episode. How could you not? Look at this guy. And number 3, follow us on social media. You can find us at Epic Starts with EP on all your popular social media outlets. Thanks for hanging out with us today on Epic Starts. We'll see you on the next episode. And remember, everything epic starts with EP.